All right, we're just going to quickly go through how to organize your passes. Yes. So I believe that, let me do a quick search here. Yes. So, if you go to the Blender docs, let's see what we got here. Yes. So if you go to rendering, layers and passes, it'll give you all the information on what you can output with cycles. We went through this, I think, briefly. I believe we did anyway. We went through this for the render settings when we were in Blender a couple videos ago. But it tells you can do UV, normal, position, diffuse, direct, indirect color, glossy, direct, indirect color. Same for transmission, volumes, whatever it is that you're using, shadow catchers, AO, ambient occlusions, etc. So, how do we link these together? The good thing about these manuals, they'll tell ya. So, what you do is you add or plus, depending on what your program, what terminology the program uses. You plus these two together, then you times it by the color. So direct plus indirect times color. Direct plus indirect times color. And you can just plus all these together, and you'll get back that final rendered look or rendered image. Transmission does the same, direct, indirect color. Then you just add on emission, add on the environment, and now you have that combined, right? So let's test this out. And of course, Eevee has its own process. Diffuse color times specular color times. So it's a little different. But if you're rendering with Eevee and you want to do a little bit of compositing, you can also break it out into layers and, follow this kind of flow chart, this pattern. Very handy. And I believe also Maya has a similar, but don't quote me on it. I'd have to look again at the passes they provide, but every render engine, whether Arnold, whether Cycles, has a formula that will bring you back to that combined. So let's take a little look-see, shall we? Let me get rid of this. Get out of here. So, our rendered rock. So, how are we going to split this out? Well, there's one way to do it. I can copy and paste this. Go here to settings, these tools, right? Let's see if I even remember how to do this. Yes, here we go. So here are all of your channels. So put this on screen too so you can see what I'm doing. Turn on the LUT. Ta-da! So you have the RGBA. So you would have to potentially go down through all of this and say, okay, where's the Z depth? If I had a Z depth, Y normal, all those kind of things. A bit of a hassle, right? Or, since we already downloaded the plugins in the previous video, I can right click on this. I can go to script, and I can go to HOS, split, EXR, ultra. So it gives me this little dialogue here, right? This script will split a multi-channel or multi-part EXR image out into loaders or media ins. So it'll give us a bunch of these for each pass. Do I want it to be vertically or horizontally? I think I'll do horizontally. Yeah, let's do that. And here are a few other settings. I'm going to ignore them. I'm just going to run and close. Boom. So now we have just the halo. We have both of them combined. We have the diffuse direct, diffuse indirect. So sorry, the first one was diffuse color, diffuse direct, diffuse indirect. These are like the lights, how the lights interact. The direct of the light, indirect, so any sort of bounce. Emission, which is only coming through this buddy. Gloss, color, gloss direct, gloss indirect. Then we have our IDs that we split out, our green and our red. And we have the combined version, which is what we had, like, you know, essentially, like, to begin with, like one-to-one. So how would we bring these together? Well, based on this, plus direct and indirect, then times by color. So how do we do that? How do we maneuver these? So what I like to do first is I just grab all of my diffuse and I kind of break them out into groups. Then I have my indirect, direct, and break it out into a group so I don't get confused. And of course we have our emission and our IDs, but we're not really going to deal with that just yet. I tend to start with diffuse. So let me get my color. I know is going to be multiplied, and these two are going to get added together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab I believe it's this, channel Boolean. Let's see, is this it? Yes, okay. So we have the add here. And so we can add these two together. This is the background. The yellow arrow always means background. In this case, it doesn't matter so much which is background or foreground because we're adding them together. So it's just a cumulative stack, so to speak. Hope that makes sense. And then you see down here, it'll tell you like what it's like down around right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, down here, it'll tell you like what each arrow is. So foreground, matte, output, effects. So if I wanted to, you know, create an effect, like I'll show you once we put these together. But so grab the foreground, plug it into this, view that. What do we got? So one is this, one is that, and together, not much of a change, right? And so I'm sure if you're coming from Nuke, you're like, well, what about the merge node? Well, what about the merge node? Let's see what that does, right? So we have a merge node. This does a certain number of operations. Like you can use this if you wanted to do a multiply. It works fine, for example. Right? So that's kind of getting close to what we want. This one also has, just copy and pasting that. This one also has a multiply node. Right? So if I grab this, grab that, we do 1. Oh wait, first I gotta change it from add to multiply. 1 and 1. See, it does the same thing. The only thing is with the channel Boolean, there are some that are found here that are not found in the multiply, to my understanding. So sometimes when you're looking in the merge node, you're like, wait, where is the thing? I need this particular multiplication node. I need this particular such and such a thing. When in doubt, check the Boolean. Also, channel Boolean is essentially, certainly you can use it to merge two things together, but it also is like a copy to function. So you can take, I think that we could do like a replace or a replace. Do you have a replace here? Let me show you actually. So say for example, disconnect this. Say I wanted to take the alpha from this, right? Just the alpha. What I could do is say copy, right? And in the red, I say do nothing. In the green, I say do nothing. In the blue, I say do nothing. And then I only copy the alpha. Let's see. Or, actually, just for visual sake, let's do alpha, alpha, alpha. did something wrong. Oh, is it because? Oh, it's because this one itself doesn't have an alpha. That's funny. Okay, well, it has an alpha, but it's not. This will work a lot better with this. Hold on, because this has the alpha baked in. So we're gonna go to the, there we go. Okay. Yes. I forgot that when you split into passes, it kind of disregards the alphas until you merge them back together. So, ignore that whole section, but yeah. So, let's go back to color. Let's look here, right? And so the channel boolean, let me just create a new one. So stock channel boolean. Again, I could say do nothing, do nothing, do nothing. So you're just like passing through. You can also just say, hey, I want it to be alpha. For the red channel, make it the alpha. So it'll be a pure white because that's the outline of the thing. I want it to be alpha. I want it to be alpha. But the do nothing is essentially pass through. Like, keep it the same. Don't worry about it, right? So now I have a mat of just this. Now this works really well for things like the ID, you know. So if I grab this, drop it in here, and I say, so with the ID I have the red and the green, I can say, oh, I just want the green. I want a mat with the green only. So I would go here and say green, 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 and then for the alpha, just green. So now when I view it, hitting the 1, now I'm only seeing this part. Of course I can switch this to, you know, just red, and just red, and last but not least for the alpha, just red. And so now I'm only getting this. So that's how you would kind of isolate using an RGB. If we had CryptoMat, we'd do something different, but since we're working with RGB mat, we're just gonna show you how to do it that way. So now, if I look here, you know, I've not merged this together with the glossy and everything else, but say for example, I wanted to do a, you know, do a color correct. Right, so I would plug this in, and say for example I wanted to make the hue like blue, right? That's kind of cool looking, right? But I only want it to be, okay, hold on, let's do this way, right? So we're gonna do a bit of a, yes, okay, got it. So say for example, oh, my bad. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. So this is the original image, yeah? So say for example, we have this original image. I wanted to make it more blue. So I pop in a color correct. I push the hue over more towards a blue. And I'm like, I love this, but I don't like the fact that this ring is also getting that blue. What can I do? That rhymed. I can take this, set it all to red, or rather green, you know, so it's just only highlighting, because white means, you know, white means that that is what is being used. And I can now take this, and this would be the mask, right? So I can take this and wait, no I can't, because what I need to do, this is unique to Fusion. I need to get a bitmap, this right here, and this will convert the image into a mask. So now I can grab this and plug it into the mask. So see now, before this, everything was blue. With it, only thing that's blue is what's selected here in the mask, which is the green. Yeah. So that creates, see now the black, nothing is touched. The white is, you know, getting the effect of whatever the filter is. So that's how you kind of mask things out. You know, I could also go in and do so there's a great amount of different masks. You have B-splines, ellipses, polygons, which is what you can free form draw yourself. Multi-poly, which is you can do multiple polygons. But I'll do an ellipse just to show you guys what can be done. So for example, if I have something, I can just create this ellipse. As you can see, whatever is inside this ellipse is getting affected. I can give it a soft edge. I can increase the border width if I want. And again, if I want to view this to see how it is, it'll show me, oh hey, here's your, here's your mask. I can move it around, I can key it, whatever I want to do to get it looking the way I want it to look. So, if you see here, wherever it is, it's affecting it with that color, right? Again, we have the polygon. Oop. There you go. Oh, watch out, mate. Alright, polygon here. Alright. And with this one, it's a bit unique in a good way. With the polygon, you can draw your own mask. Alright? So, the polygon, I can just, make my own shapes. And this is good for, if you're rotoing anything out, like maybe you want just a portion of it to be covered, but it's a more unique shape. You can use this, and once you have it set up, you can adjust, move it around if you want, shorten this, tilt it, all kind of stuff. So it's very useful in that way. These are masks. Again, you can find these up here. There's a rectangle, ellipse, polygon, B-spline, multi-poly. Very, very handy, very, very useful for masking things out and such things. But let's get back to our thing here. Bit of a tangent there, but I think it's necessary. So we have the first part. Let's delete this because we're not using that. We have the first part. For me, work smarter, not harder. Copy, paste. The channel boolean here, which is the add. We're doing the two direct and indirect. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to merge with the multiply. This is a multiply merge, as you can see. And 1 and 2. What do we have here? So this is all, that's beautiful, right? This is all of your light data, all of your specular, for lack of a better term. I know Blender calls it gloss, but essentially it's your specular combined. So you take the color, then you put the specular essentially on top. And to do that, I'm gonna again copy this because I know this is an add. This to this. Alright, so let's see. I do 1, ooh, gets rid of it. 1, and let me see if I can find that. Yeah, 1 and 1, 1 and 1. The only difference really is that this one has the halo and this one does not. So in order to bring that in, do another add. Again, just copying and pasting, because why do more when you can do more quickly? And there you go. 1, 1, other than the black background, it's about exactly the same. 1, 1. So we've rebuilt the passes in this way. Certainly, now we can go in and we can add, our color corrects, our grades, all these kind of different things, and use them to kind of adjust the color. So, in the next one, I'm going to go over and just kind of break down some of the more used nodes that I use in Fusion, and we'll go through that. If you guys have any questions or you're wondering why I did things the way I did them, feel free to leave a question in the chat. I'll get to them as best as I can. Thank you very much.